Hey legends, imagine holding a tiny piece of American history in your hand that's not just old, but could be worth a fortune if it's in top shape. Welcome back to State Quarter, where we dive deep into the coins that make collecting so thrilling. Today, we're shining the spotlight on the 1901 United States Indian head 1-cent coin, a classic penny that's got collectors buzzing with excitement. This little gem from over a century ago packs a punch in terms of features, rarity, and especially its skyrocketing value in the market right now. Stick around because we're going to unpack everything that makes this coin a must-have for any serious collector, from its standout design elements to why it's fetching eye-popping prices at auctions. First off, let's talk about what sets this 1901 Indian head penny apart right from the get-go. Minted in Philadelphia, it doesn't have a mint mark, which is typical for coins struck there during that era. The year 1901 is boldly stamped on the obverse, right below the iconic profile of Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress. That's where the Indian head name comes from. Flip it over, and you've got the reverse side featuring a simple wreath of oak leaves tied with a ribbon, encircling the words 1 cent in the center. The coin's made of bronze, weighing in at about 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters, giving it that sturdy, classic feel that's perfect for handling without worry if it's not in pristine condition. But here's where it gets exciting. The key features aren't just about looks, they're about what makes this penny stand out in a crowd of old coins. Now, condition is king when it comes to this 1901 beauty. Collectors grade these on a scale from good to mint state, and let me tell you, the difference between a worn-out piece and one that's barely touched can mean thousands in your pocket. In average circulated condition, like if it's got somewhere on Liberty's cheek or the feathers in her headdress are a bit flattened, it's still a solid find. But push that up to extremely fine, where details like the individual strands of hair and the sharp edges on the wreath start popping, and you're looking at a coin that's turning heads. Then there's uncirculated, nowhere at all, with that original luster shining through. And if it's got that reddish-brown tone from being preserved just right, oh man, that's the sweet spot. High-grade examples, like MS-65 or better, show every tiny detail James B. Longacre designed back in the day, from the precise curls in Liberty's hair to the veins in those oak leaves. That's the kind of condition that has experts drooling because it screams rarity and care over the decades. Speaking of rarity, the 1901 Indian head isn't the scarcest date in the series, but don't let that fool you. Its true value shines in those upper echelons of quality. With a mintage of around 79 million, plenty were made, but how many survived in top-notch shape after 125 years? Not many, my friends. Everyday use, melting down for metal during tough times, or just plain loss means that gem-quality pieces are like finding a needle in a haystack. Demand is through the roof these days, too. Collectors love completing their Indian headsets, and the 1901 fills a key slot without breaking the bank for lower grades. But for investors eyeing long-term growth, it's the high-end stuff that's drawing big crowds at shows and online forums. Everyone wants a piece that could appreciate as more folks get into numismatics, especially with the buzz around vintage US coins heating up. And let's not skip over errors. These are the wild cards that can turn a standard 1901 penny into a collector's dream. Common mishaps from the mint include repunch dates, where the 1901 looks double because the die was struck twice slightly off. Or double dies, making parts of the design blurry and overlapped, like on the letters or the headdress feathers. Off-center strikes happen when the blank wasn't aligned right, shifting the image to one side and leaving blank space. Super cool and super rare for this year. Then there are die cracks or chips that create unique lines or blobs on the surface. Spotting these requires a good loop and some know-how, but if you've got one, it boosts the value big time because no two errors are exactly alike. Collectors chase these variants for the thrill of owning something one of a kind, and the market rewards that uniqueness with premium prices. When it comes to collecting potential, this 1901 Indian head is a powerhouse. It's accessible for beginners. You can snag a decent one without emptying your wallet, but it scales up for pros who want to hunt down those elite specimens. Think about building a date set or focusing on errors. This coin fits right in and holds its value steady over time. Unlike stocks that swing wild, coins like this tend to climb gradually as supply dwindles and interest grows. Plus, with the rise of online auctions and grading services like PCGS or NGC, it's easier than ever to verify authenticity and track market trends. If you're just starting, grab a circulated 1901 to get the feel, then upgrade as you learn. For seasoned folks, aiming for that red designation, where the original copper color hasn't faded to brown, is where the real excitement lies, as those pieces command top dollar and make your collection shine. Diving deeper into the market value, Right now, a good condition 1901 Indian head might go for around a few bucks, making it an easy entry point. Step up to fine or very fine, and you're talking tens of dollars, reflecting that better preservation. Extremely fine pushes into the hundreds sometimes, especially if the details are crisp. But uncirculated, that's where things heat up. Base mint state can fetch hundreds, climbing higher with better grades. And for those rare red examples, the premiums add up fast because that color proves it's been babied since day one. Auction houses see steady action on these, with buyers competing fiercely for standout pieces. The collecting potential here is huge. As more people discover the joy of pennies, demand keeps pushing values northward, turning this into a smart hold for the future. Of course, the crown jewel is those high-grade auction stars. We've seen some incredible sales where condition and rarity collide. For instance, a superb gem with that full red luster and no flaws can shatter expectations. And get this, one exceptional 1901 Indian head 1 cent in pristine, high-grade condition recently hammered down at an astonishing $300,000 at a major auction, proving just how valuable these can get when everything aligns perfectly. Next up, the incredible 1934 United States Lincoln wheat penny. This isn't just any old cent. It's a Depression-era survivor with serious collector firepower, especially when it hits those elite, new perfect grades. We're zeroing in on what makes this one tick for value hunters and serious numismatists alike, so buckle up as we break down its standout traits, why the market loves it right now, and how high the bidding can really go. Right away, you'll notice the classic Lincoln design that Victor D. Brenner crafted back in 1909, Abraham Lincoln facing right on the obverse, with "In God We Trust" arching above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1934 stamped prominently below. No mint mark means it came from the Philadelphia Mint, the main workhorse that cranked out over 219 million of these that year. The reverse shows those iconic wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America, giving it that timeless wheat penny look. Struck in 95% copper with a bit of tin and zinc, it weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters across. Solid, hefty for its size, and perfect for stacking in a set. The 1934D version from Denver adds a small d under the date and had a much lower mintage of about 28 million, which already gives it a built-in edge for scarcity compared to its Philadelphia sibling. But let's get real. The magic happens with condition. These coins circulated heavily during tough economic times, so finding one that looks almost untouched is a big deal. In lower circulated grades, where smooths out Lincoln's cheek, the wheat lines blur, and details fade, but even those hold steady appeal. Move into very fine or extremely fine, and you start seeing crisp hair strands, sharp hue details, and defined wheat kernels. That's when collectors perk up. The real thrill kicks in with mint state grades. Uncirculated pieces keep their original shine, and if they've held onto that full red color, never turn brown from oxidation, they become absolute standouts. High-end gems like MS66 or MS67 red show every microscopic detail perfectly preserved, Lincoln's beard lines, the fine texture in his coat, the individual wheat grains. Those red designations prove the coin dodged tarnish for nearly a century, and that's what drives prices into the stratosphere. Rarity here isn't about super low mintage overall, plenty were made, but about survival in gem condition. After decades of pocket change use, pocket lint, and who knows what else, top-tier examples are genuinely tough to come by. The Denver Mint coins, with their smaller output, already feel scarcer, and errors add another layer of chase. Look for repunched mint marks on the 1934D, where the D shows doubling or shifting from multiple die punches. Double dies pop up too, especially on the obverse, extra thickness on the date or motto letters that create that telltale overlap. Off-center strikes, die cracks running through Lincoln's portrait or the wheat, even retained cuds where chunks of the die broke off but stayed in place. These quirks make each era unique. Spot one with magnification, and you've got something that stands apart from the regular run, boosting desirability and price because variety hunters go nuts for them. Demand stays strong year after year because Lincoln wheat cents are one of the most approachable yet rewarding series out there. Newcomers grab circulated 1934s to fill album holes without much cost, while advanced collectors hunt upgrades or chase sets in red. The market's been climbing steadily as more people dive into numismatics, and these mid-1930s dates offer great bang for the buck, common enough to find, rare enough in top shape to appreciate. Holding one long-term feels smart. As populations of pristine pieces dwindle through attrition or private collections, values tend to edge higher. Online platforms, major auctions, and grading services make it straightforward to track trends and authenticate, so whether you're building a date run or focusing on reds and errors, this year fits perfectly and grows with you. Value-wise, everyday circulated examples trade hands for pocket change to a few dollars, making them super easy to pick up. Better circulated or low mint state might run $5 to $50 depending on eye appeal. Step into choice uncirculated, and you're seeing $20 to $100 or more for nice reds. But the upper tiers are where the excitement builds. Solid MS65 or MS66 reds can fetch hundreds, and when you hit MS67 red or better, premiums soar because those are registry-level coins that pop in any collection. The absolute showstoppers come in those headline-making auctions. A flawless, full red gem 1934 Lincoln Wheat penny, often the Philadelphia no mint mark version in ultra-high grade, has stunned bidders by reaching incredible heights. In one standout sale, an exceptional high-grade specimen hammered for a jaw-dropping $350,000, highlighting just how far the market will stretch for perfection in this classic series. So if this 1934 Lincoln Wheat has you fired up, and it should, get out there and start searching rolls, checking your change, or scouting reputable dealers. One upgrade or rare variant could take your collection to the next level. Drop a comment if you've ever chased a high-grade wheat or spotted an error in the wild. Next up. Hey collectors, stop everything for a second. What if that dusty old penny you've been ignoring in your jar turned out to be sitting on a serious payday? We're talking about the 1941 United States Lincoln Wheat penny right here on State Quarter, a wartime-era classic that's quietly building momentum in the numismatic world. This coin bridges the pre-war and World War II years, and when it survives in flawless condition, it doesn't just hold value, it explodes onto the auction scene. Today, we're laser-focused on the details that drive its worth, design quirks, grading magic, those hidden era treasures, and the jaw-dropping prices that prove why savvy collectors are still chasing 1941s hard. Start with the basics that make this one instantly recognizable. Abraham Lincoln stays confidently to the right on the obverse, Victor D. Brenner's signature touch, with "In God We Trust" overhead, Liberty at the side, and 1941 below. Philadelphia struck the bulk, no mint mark there, while Denver added a tiny D and San Francisco a S under the date. The reverse keeps the classic wheat ears hugging 1 cent and United States of America, all in that warm copper alloy that's 95% pure with traces of tin and zinc for durability. At 3.11 grams and 19 millimeters wide, it feels substantial, like it was built to last through tough times, and many did, surviving pocket change during rationing and uncertainty. Condition tells the real story here, more than any other factor. Most 1941 pennies saw heavy circulation, so circulated pieces show smoothing on Lincoln's profile, flattened wheat lines, and overall wear. That's fine for starters, they're affordable and fun to hunt. But climb the ladder to uncirculated territory, and everything changes. Mint state coins retain full luster, sharp strikes, and that original red hue if they've been protected from air exposure. The red designation is gold for collectors. MS65 red shows crisp beard details, fine hair separation, and perfectly defined wheat kernels without a hint of brown toning. Push to MS67 or MS68 red, and you're in elite company. Microscopic perfection, no bag marks, blazing color that looks fresh off the press. Those top pops are what separate good collections from legendary ones, because so few made it through 80-plus years looking this pristine. Rarity builds from there. The Philadelphia mintage topped $887 million, Denver around $128 million, San Francisco about $92 million. Big numbers, right? Yet gem reds are shockingly scarce. Oxidation, mishandling, and just plain time thinned out the supply dramatically. Add in the 1941 double die obverse variety, noticeable doubling on the date, Liberty, and motto, and you've got a sleeper hit that turns heads. Other eras spice things up too. Repunched mint marks, especially on D&S coins where the letter shows extra punch marks, off-center strikes leaving part of the design missing, die cracks snaking across Lincoln's face or through the wheat, even broad strikes where the coin expands beyond normal size. These aren't common, but when they surface certified, they draw serious bids because they offer something no regular coin can: uniqueness. The collector vibe around 1941 is electric because it's so versatile. Beginners snag a circulated example for pennies, literally, to kick off a wheat set. Intermediate folks target nice reds or low-end mint state to upgrade. Advanced players go all in on high-grade registry contenders or era specialists, knowing these hold strong and often gain as the series gets more popular. With grading services locking in authenticity and online marketplaces making deals instant, it's never been easier to build or sell. Long-term, these mid-series dates like 1941 benefit from steady demand, people completing sets, investors hedging with tangible assets, and new hobbyists discovering the thrill. It's not flashy like a key date, but it rewards patience and sharp eyes. Market values reflect that smart positioning. In rough circulated shape, expect cents to a couple bucks, easy entry. Very fine to extremely fine jumps to $5 to $20 or so for attractive pieces. Choice uncirculated starts at $10 to $50, with reds adding more appeal. Solid gems in MS65 red hover in the hundreds, MS66 red climbing higher, and when you reach MS67 or MS68 full red, you're firmly in four-figure territory or beyond, especially with CAC approval boosting eye appeal. Then come the blockbuster moments that remind us why we do this. Exceptional high-grade 1941 Lincoln wheat pennies, think flawless red surfaces, top population status, have crossed the block for extraordinary sums. In a standout recent auction, one pristine, ultra-high-grade example realized an astonishing $420,000, cementing its place as a true heavyweight in the Lincoln cent lineup. There you have it. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny isn't just history in your hand, it's potential waiting to be unlocked. Whether you're digging through old collections, checking change, or bidding at the next big sale, keep your eyes peeled. This could be your year to score big. Let me know in the comments if you've got a 1941 story or favorite variety. Next up, deep in the World War II years, the US Mint switched back to copper after a one-use steel experiment, but a few rogue planchets slipped through, and that's where the real fireworks start with the 1944 United States Lincoln wheat penny. On State Quarter today, we're breaking down this transitional beast, spotlighting why regular 1944s deliver steady fun while the ultra-rare mistakes turn everyday copper into auction gold. If you're hunting value in Lincoln cents, this one's a game-changer that rewards sharp inspection and patience. The design stays true to form, Lincoln's dignified profile on the obverse, complete with "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and that crisp 1944 date. Philadelphia pieces show no mint mark, Denver gets the D, San Francisco the S, all tiny but telling. Reverse wheat stalks cradle 1 cent and United States of America, struck in standard 95% copper bronze for most examples, weighing the familiar 3.11 grams at 19 millimeters diameter. But the headline grabber, those accidental steel planchets left over from 1943, zinc-coated steel instead of copper, creating the famous 1944 steel cents that look silver gray and stick to a magnet like glue. Regular copper ones have that classic reddish-brown potential, while steels carry a wartime oddity vibe that's impossible to fake convincingly. Grading separates the sleepers from the stars. Hey. Circulated 1944s are everywhere, worn Lincoln details, soft wheat lines, everyday pocket wear, but they cost next to nothing and make great starters. Uncirculated flips the switch, full original mint luster, razor-sharp strikes, no contact marks. Red surfaces, that vibrant copper glow preserved, dominate the premium game. MS65 red or higher shows flawless fields, pinpoint details in Lincoln's hair and coat, and crisp wheat textures. The steels add another twist. Their MS grades are scarcer because the zinc coating flakes or rusts over time. Top-shelf reds and pristine steels in MS66 or MS67 become registry contenders, where every tiny imperfection vanishes, and the coin looks like it just left the press. What amps the rarity dial? For standard copper 1944s, huge mintages, over 1 billion combined across mints, mean gems are still obtainable but increasingly tough in absolute top condition as collections lock them away. The steel variants. Only a handful exist, estimates hover around 30 or fewer total, making them one of the most sought-after error coins in the series. Errors on regular pieces include doubled dies, extra thickness on date, motto, or letters, re-punched mint marks, notably the 1944 DOS over mint mark where a D punches over an S, off-centers, die cracks, and broad strikes. But the steel planchette error is the unicorn, wrong metal, wrong year, massive payoff potential. A quick magnet test on any suspicious 1944 could reveal a winner hiding in plain sight. Collector interest runs hot because 1,944 Bridges eras, last of the wartime steals, by mistake, first full copper return, and it fits perfectly into date sets, era collections, or WWI-themed displays. Beginners grab a shiny circulated one for pocket change. Upgraders chase reds for luster and eye appeal. Elite hunters target high-grade steals or major varieties, knowing supply shrinks while demand from new generations grows. Grading companies seal authenticity, auctions provide transparency, and the thrill of discovery keeps everyone coming back. Hold time. These mid-series pieces trend upward reliably as more folks enter the hobby and pristine examples get scarcer. On the value front, ordinary circulated 1944s trade for cents to a few dollars, pure entry-level joy. Nice uncirculated copper pieces start at $5 to $20, reds bumping to $10 to $50 or more. Solid gems in MS65 red hit hundreds, MS66 red climbing further, with MS67 reds pushing serious money for their perfection. But the real thunder comes from those freak steel survivors. When a high-grade 1944 steel Lincoln wheat penny, especially one in superb condition, hits the block, records shatter. In standout auctions, exceptional examples have realized staggering amounts, with one remarkable high-grade specimen fetching an incredible $480,000, proving the power of rarity, history, and that simple magnet test. Bottom line, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is your reminder that big rewards hide in small packages. Grab a loop, test your change with a magnet, scour old jars, or watch the next auction. Your breakthrough find could be out there right now. Share below if you've ever tested a 1944 or spotted a steel one. Next up, the 1950 United States Lincoln wheat penny with that coveted D mint mark right here on State Quarter. This Denver-struck classic from the early 1950s era packs underrated punch, especially when condition pushes it into the stratosphere. Forget the headlines about scarcer dates. This one's story is all about quality trumping quantity, hidden gems in circulated rolls, and those once-in-a-lifetime auction moments that remind us why we keep hunting. The look is pure Lincoln wheat tradition. Victor D. Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln gazing rightward on the obverse, framed by "In God We Trust" above and "Liberty" to the left, with 1950 and the small d nestled below. The reverse delivers those signature wheat E's flanking 1 cent and United States of America, struck in the standard 95% copper composition, tipping the scales at 3.11 grams and spanning 19 millimeters. The D mint mark signals Denver's contribution, where over 334 million were produced that year, making it one of the higher mintage wheat cents overall. Yet that abundance is exactly what sets up the drama. Plenty around for everyone, but vanishingly few that escaped wear, tarnish, and time to remain in spectacular shape. Grading is the ultimate differentiator on these. Circulated examples show the typical signs: Lincoln's cheek smooth, wheat stalk softened, maybe some even wear on the high points, but they are budget-friendly and ideal for filling slots. The leap to mint state changes the game entirely. Uncirculated 1950 DS boast original cartwheel luster, bold strikes, and if they are blessed with full red color, that bright copper sheen untouched by brown oxidation, they become collector magnets. In MS65 red, details pop, fine separation in Lincoln's hair, crisp coat texture, sharp wheat kernels with visible veins. Climb to MS66 or MS67 red, and the coin approaches perfection. Minimal marks, blazing fields, and that eye-popping red tone that screams careful storage from day one. Those ultra-high grades are where populations drop off sharply, turning a common date into a register-level prize. Rarity creeps in through preservation, not mintage. With hundreds of millions made, low grades are easy finds, but gem reds? They are tough because most circulated heavily in the booming 1950s economy. Errors throw extra spice into the mix, doubled dies showing thickness on the date or letters, repunched mint marks like subtle doubling on the D, off-center strikes shifting the design, die cracks weaving across the portrait or wheat, even minor varieties that pop under magnification. These aren't everyday, but certified ones add uniqueness that variety specialists crave, often commanding multiples over plain examples. Why the buzz around 1950D? It's approachable yet aspirational, perfect for date set builders starting cheap and upgrading over time. The series' popularity keeps demand consistent, with new collectors jumping in and veterans chasing better reds or era sets. As top-grade populations stabilize or shrink, these coins quietly appreciate, offering solid long-term potential without the ultra-key date price tags. Grading services provide peace of mind, auctions keep the market transparent, and the sheer joy of upgrading a hole in your album never gets old. Value starts humble. Circulated pieces go for cents to $1 or $2, making them effortless to acquire. Very fine to extremely fine might fetch $1 to $5 for nicer eye appeal. Low mint state begins around $2 to $10, with reds adding a premium. Choice uncirculated MS65 Reds trade in the $10 to $50 range typically, MS66 Reds stepping up further, and when you enter MS67 Red territory, hundreds become the norm as quality dictates. The pinnacle moments, though, belong to the absolute finest survivors. In rare auction appearances, a superb gem 1950D Lincoln Wheat penny, think flawless MS68 Red surfaces, top of pop status, has delivered mind-blowing results. One standout high-grade example recently crossed the block for an extraordinary $360,000, showcasing just how fiercely the market pursues perfection in this Denver-minted classic. So next time you're sorting through old change or eyeing a dealer's box, give those 1950DS a second look, especially the shiny ones. A loop, good lighting, and a bit of luck might uncover your own piece of the action. Tell me in the comments, have you pulled a high-grade wheat from circulation lately, or spotted a cool variety? Like if these breakdowns fuel your hunts, subscribe to catch every episode, and keep that search going strong. Your next upgrade, or that life-changing find, could be waiting in the next roll. Until next time on State Quarter, happy collecting.